What's up guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Couture Couture by Juicy Couture. So if you want to hear my thoughts on this fragrance, please keep watching. So the bottle that I have here is in 1 fluid ounce, and I actually found this at a discount store called DD's Discounts for $20. And if you don't know what DD's Discounts is, it's owned by Ross, and it's basically just a discount store like Ross, TJ Maxx, Burlington. And this is what the perfume box looks like. It's just in typical Juicy Couture fashion, you know, really bold, bright, and pink and gold. And there's the price, $20. Okay, so let's start talking about the actual perfume. Its main accords are white floral, fruity, citrus, sweet, amber, vanilla, powdery, and woody. So after reading the main accords, I have to disagree with some of them. I don't get really anything woody in this, and the vanilla, if it's in there, it's very subtle. I really don't get a whole lot of vanilla. So now let's get into the fragrance notes. Its top notes are African orange flower, mandarin orange, and grape. Its middle notes are plum, jasmine, and honeysuckle, and its base notes are amber, vanilla, and sandalwood. So I just wanted to point out that I'm currently on Fragrantica looking at the notes, and there's an error on there. It actually says in the top notes that there's grapefruit, but it's not grapefruit, it's grape. So I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so after reading the notes, I feel like this fragrance would typically be something that is right up my alley. I absolutely love amber, vanilla, sandalwood, gourmand, sweet things, plum, grape just sounds right up my alley, but this is a lot different than I was expecting based on the notes. This fragrance really surprised me in the sense that it's not your typical Juicy Couture fragrance. Whenever I think of Juicy Couture perfume, I think of Viva La Juicy, where they're very fruity, very gourmand, very, juvenile, and this is not that. This is actually very mature smelling. So right away I get sort of a citrusy white floral. It's very sharp, very bold, and a little bit heavy. I feel like the grape in this and the plum in this really sweeten it up, but not in a gourmand way. It's like subtly sweet, and the grape kind of gives it like sort of a medicinal quality. I would say that because of how bold and heavy this is, this would be a perfume that would be really great for fall or winter months, just colder months. I think in the summertime it would just be way too heavy. I would say what stands out to me about this fragrance is how floral it is, how citrusy it is. Again, I get that like medicinal quality from the grape, and I don't get a whole lot of vanilla or sandalwood in this, unfortunately. Those are just scents that I really like, and I don't really detect it too much in this fragrance. To me, this smells very vintage, like something that would have probably been released in the 90s, but it was actually released in 2009. So I think that because this kind of has like a vintage quality to it, it smells expensive. Like, I think that this could definitely be something similar to something that's at Macy's that's over $100. For comparison, I pulled out my Victoria's Secret Rapture, and this was released in 1992. When I smelled Couture Couture, I instantly thought of Victoria's Secret Rapture, just because they're both very vintage smelling, and it kind of just smells like you're being transported back into the 90s or possibly the 80s. They're not identical by any means. Rapture is very rose heavy, where Couture Couture is very heavy in the white florals, but they're similar in the sense that it just feels like you're being transported back in time. So when it comes to the fragrance notes, here's where they are similar. They both have citrus, jasmine, amber, and vanilla, but like I said, Rapture is very rose heavy, where Couture Couture isn't. The reason I pulled out Rapture was just because it's a really popular Victoria's Secret fragrance. I feel like they bring this one back so often, and I think that most people have smelled Rapture, so you can kind of get a sense of who would like this perfume and the vibe that it gives off. So again, they're not identical, but I just wanted to compare the two just because Victoria's Secret Rapture is so popular and I think most people have smelled it before. So now let's get back into Couture Couture. I personally don't think that Couture Couture is an everyday scent. I think this is more of like a special occasion scent, maybe a date night scent, or a night out where you have a really nice dress on and nice jewelry and you're wearing heels. So when you first spray this is sharp, this is bold, but when it dries down, it's actually not too powerful. I would say the lasting power on me is about 3 or 4 hours. So this was a blind buy, and if I actually got the chance to smell this in store, I definitely would not have purchased this. This is just a little bit too mature for me. I typically tend to like the more juvenile Juicy Couture fragrances like Viva La Juicy Gold, things like that, but if you already like Victoria's Secret Rapture and you're not into those super juvenile scents like I am, you might like this one. I'm just more of a gourmand girl. I'm not super into florals, and this is very heavy on the white florals. On the dry down, I feel like the grape kind of starts to stick out a little bit more, but it's more of like a medicinal grape. So think of like kind of like Robitussin, but then again, it has that citrusy notes that are kind of like competing for attention. So to me, this is just a little bit too bold, a little bit too clashy, and not well blended in my opinion. I'm also disappointed that I don't get too much of that vanilla or sandalwood because I feel like this needs the creaminess. It's just really lacking in my opinion. It's just way too floral for me. So I'm very biased. I love anything Juicy Couture. I love the outfits. I love most Juicy Couture perfumes. So I really want to like this fragrance, and I honestly can't say that I do. I feel like I don't hate it, but I'm trying way too hard to like it, and I don't think I want to keep something in my collection that I don't love. This is just, I'm trying way too hard to find like qualities about it that I like. I think this perfume is something that I can appreciate on someone else because it's not bad, it's just not for me. I think that if someone was walking by and I smelled it, I wouldn't think that they smelled like absolutely horrendous or anything like that. Just for me, I know that I wouldn't enjoy this on myself personally. Alright, you guys, so that was my review on Couture Couture, and I really hope this was helpful for you, and I hope to see you in my next one.